Good Thursday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and SUVs and the motorcycles and the dogs and the challenges. Hey, here's the mother-in-law's car. She's up, but she's not here. She's flown off to Boston with my wife. Yeah, so it's Ice Age TV, and as always, I enjoy talking in the morning, talking to my regular subscribers, and thanks so much for those that tune in and watch me talk about ideas and views and thoughts and share my addictions and my craziness and just who I am. And I appreciate all support for those that do watch me. And today I've got my John Deere cup with coffee in it so I can start coughing and hacking. I got the John Deere cup because it's going to be the John Deere day. I'm going to buy myself a new John Deere today, and how about that idea? So, going across the driveway here, as we always do, just kind of really beautiful weather. It's supposed to be 50s today. Really just great motorcycle weather. Kind of wish I had the schedule and time to do that, but I don't. So, that won't be happening. Got to take care of business and other things. And so, anyways, it's the ongoing theme of the week of numbers. We've had the number 1 conversation Monday about Harley, number 2 conversation, the number 3 conversation yesterday. And so what do you guess today's going to be? It's going to be the number 4 conversation. And wow, if you look around my shop, my cars, my motorcycles, I could relate with the number 4 with many different things because I have so many vehicles and I have so many of the same brand. I have so many of the same manufacturers. Like right now, I have more than 4 Harleys, I believe. I believe I have 5 Harleys, if I'm correct. I am. 5 Harleys, wow. So, the number 4, how do we take the number 4, the numerology number, this 4 square, how do we take that and keep the information in the talk? Come on, let's go. Nope. I know what you're going to do. Get up here. Come on, let's go. Get up. Nope. Leave alone. Come on, Ginger. Let's go. Come on. So I'll have to monitor the pup. Get up here. I'll just get the heat going. Get up there. Come on, baby. Come on, Ginger. Nope. Leave her alone. Yeah, I had to clean the office up yesterday and had to get my new computer set up. That's a freaking project. So leave her alone. Let me get back down here as you go back downstairs. Nope, you stay up here. No, everybody stay there. I'm coming right back. You know, they're routine. So how do we take the number 4 and make it interesting content, right? Oh, my goodness gracious. Well, if we keep it on the car theme, we know that we have a 4-stroke engine. I mean, the Ice Age is all about the 4 revolutions. What is it? Intake, compression, combustion, exhaust. So if you're the motorhead, you love the sound of that engine breathing in that air and then compressing that air. And then you have the fuel with the spark plugs that ignite it to create combustion. And then you have that beautiful noise that comes out the back here. That's the exhaust. So, and that's something that us ice heads just love. We love it. And then when it comes to EV age, what's the 4 revolutions? Yeah, okay. Not so sure on that. So, but you think about where we are today with all of our technology and all of really cool stuff. Like here's the 3-cylinder engine. And over here, what is the Honda? Is the Honda the 4? You know, for me, just so much information on all these damn bikes. It just gets to be too much information. I mean, sincerely. We know that the Harleys are the V-twin. And then we know that we've got a big old V8 motor in this bad boy here. And we got a V8 motor in here. But we're on the 4 conversations. And what's interesting is, apparently Carl Benz was the first 4-wheel vehicle inventor, patent in 1893. And it was 1893 that Carl Benz from Germany, the German, he brought to the market a 4-wheel car. But I thought to myself, What about the four-wheel drive? So where does that all come from? When did they invent the four-wheel drive car? So apparently that came around about 1903, and it wasn't from Carl Benz. I'll have to look at my phone to give you a little bit more insight on that. But I think to myself, boy, oh boy, where we are in today's the four-wheel drive market has exploded. I mean, it's just beyond unbelievable. From when I was a kid, and I've talked about this numerous times, and for you to have a truck, you were high class. I mean, sincerely, back in the 70s, even to a degree in the 80s, if you were a family and you had a truck along with some cars, that looked like, you had money. Because back in the day, you didn't have these luxurious SUV pickup bed vehicles. And that's kind of where it's gone in some ways. I mean, you had this. You had a two-door truck, was the most common truck back in the 70s. And many of them were two-wheel drive, not four-wheel drive. So back in the day, in the 70s, if you had a four-wheel drive truck, all right, you had a four-wheel drive truck and a truck, I mean, that was looked at as you were doing pretty well. I remember my dad and I going to the Chevy dealership in 1978, January, and we're putting an order in for a Chevy K10, half-ton Chevy truck, and because it was a K10, K20, K30, two-door, step-side truck, and that was a lot. That was a big commitment for my dad to justify to buy that truck, because he knew that he wouldn't be using it most of the time. It wouldn't be his daily driver. So for the four-wheel drive truck enthusiast, really the 70s, late 70s is kind of where this all kind of started going with the craziness. Then the lifted trucks, I was so into that. You go back to the late 70s, I just used to read every freaking magazine I could find of four-wheel drive trucks being lifted, and I did that to my dad's truck. So, but now you go over here to the tractors. I was intrigued the other day, I was looking at that 3046 tractor, that there's a small tractor series that has four-wheel steering. That's pretty cool. And here the 4044R is, which I think I'm going to go ahead and let her go and get a little bit more of a versatile 3046, which will give me the capability to ride around and be able to a nice air-conditioned or heated cab, and I'll be able to cut my grass instead of being on zero turn. Do I let that go? I don't know. I mean, it's always the shuffle the cards. What do I do? How does it all play out? And so in Jeep, everybody knows the famous CJ, the Willys. I mean, so the Jeep, in so many ways, probably for our side of the country, was the true beginnings of the four-wheel drive craze of what was brought into the market. And then the Bronco back in the late 60s, early 70s. I was never a Bronco Ford person, so I just didn't really follow that product. I was the Chevy guy. I was the Mopar guy. I was the Ram guy. And then now today, here you have these big badass four-wheel drive trucks that just have insane power in these diesel motors. It's beyond unbelievable. If you're watching my channel, the brand new high output Ford 6.7 liter diesel, it has I think it has 1,200 foot-pounds of torque. I think it 1,250, and it has 500 some odd horsepower. Beyond unbelievable. I mean, wow. So what I also think about when you talk about number four, is what's really cool today is you have the technology in these cars to change the different rides on how you want the vehicle to perform. So like in the Bronco, you've got 4, I think, different settings on that vehicle. Same thing with the Mustang. You have the sport mode, the normal mode, the track mode, the rain mode, I think. I mean, so I could be wrong. Now, we come over here to the Harley-Davidson line. There's something that's new for Harley-Davidson is they finally have put in what Indian has had for years, different ride modes. And apparently, the new CVO ST has one more mode over the regular non-CVO. So apparently, you have I think 2 track modes on that motorcycle. Without powering up, I believe what you have is the road, the wet, the sport, and track. But this would be the road, the wet, the sport, and I think track 1 and track 2. So I think that has like 5 different modes for you to change. And if you watch the guy that did the dyno on that CVO, you'll see that when it's in the non-track mode, it doesn't hit its higher numbers. And I talk about this all the time. It's not the bike's not letting out all the power that you can get out of it. I talk about all the time, these Ford products, it's huge if you buy a brand new Ford product and it has the option for the sport mode in the settings or even the transmission setting. If you can take, like in the Ford Ranger, you can put it in sport mode by just pulling back to the furthest part of that Ford Ranger, new ones. But on these vehicles here, they get the dial where we can literally take the vehicle and you can change the different settings. And when you go to sport mode, it totally opens up all the energy of that motor for it to give you more power. It's radical. Anybody out there? But here's the thing. If you don't have the Wild Track or the higher package, you don't get that feature. You don't have that setting, which is kind of befuddling that Ford wouldn't give you that sport feature, but at the same time, maybe the car, it just has it set up where it always has the highest output. Anyways, you don't need to go to that sport mode. I really don't know. We go over to the Mojave, they don't have that technology. So on the Jeep side, that's one thing about that 392 that I looked at. I just don't remember that having, per se, the different drive modes. And it's such a big thing these days in the technology of these vehicles. And once again, back to motorcycles, the Honda here has a, this thing here, I am out embellishing here. I had my 2018, it was the Burgundy Airbag Edition, and I was up in Tennessee, up in Smoky Mountains, and I was up where, no man's land. It was way up the mountain. My phone didn't even have reception anymore. And I was up there, and it was a rainy day, because it's so crazy. People know that ride bikes, you can be riding a motorcycle, and you can go from being in a beautiful sunny environment, but as you go up the mountain, that can all change. So on my Honda Goldwing, I was up there, and it got rainy, and I just really created my own problem by going too far off the edge of the road, and I ended up putting this bike in the ditch. Literally, I'm in the ditch now, up on the mountain, all by myself, and I'm like, I am so screwed because this bike's going to get stuck. But no, I actually, check tuner. This is where the technology will drive you nutty. So let me make sure this thing goes down. So now, you go in here to these modes. Let's see where it is. Sport mode, Echo, rain. That rain mode saved me. You have Tour, and these are the big differences in how this bike performs. This rain mode literally made the difference in me getting out of that ditch and not getting out of that ditch. I can't emphasize enough. It was incredible. So this bike was, if I would have been riding my Harley, so if I had done the same thing on my Harley Davidson, I can guarantee you I would have been sitting up in that mountain waiting for somebody to show up and then have to go find a tow truck to get me out of that situation. Because I was literally in a ravine, in the ditch, or if you know what I'm talking, the gully on the side of the road, and it was really bad. And so now in that rain mode, that Honda, and here's what the challenge was. You're in that ditch, and so I could go straight through the ditch, but to get out of the ditch, that was a challenge. So I'm getting some water here. So I'd be driving the bike down through the ditch, but then I had to get out of the ditch. And that bike right there, since it had the rain mode, the tire would not bust loose. So that it would just create even more of a problem, which was incredible. I was blown away how I could take this bike and it would literally control that rear tire without busting loose to help me crawl out of that ditch. So you go to this motorcycle here, the Triumph, whatever, maybe not the Triumph, but these motorcycles here, because they didn't have the technology on them, and as heavy as these bikes are, then I would be myself trying to get myself out of that ditch, trying to throttle the bike. It'd be no way. So the Honda Goldwing, that was like, oh my gosh, this is just the nicest bike ever for me, getting myself in a really bad situation. But with the technology of that bike, that tire didn't bust loose, which is incredible. Well, that's so funny. The dogs run through here, and they've unplugged my bike. my battery tender. I'm just now noticing that because they run through here, the havoc of the dogs. My Kiefer dog this morning, he decided to get hungry and eat my wallet. Yeah, that dog just wants to eat everything. It's incredible. Wow. Oh my gosh. So anyways, so that was that for the Honda Goldwing, just totally thumbs up to an incredible product. It's incredible here. I can see how my lens is kind of dirty. It just doesn't end, man. You try to make videos, you bring content, it just doesn't end. And see here, how's that look for you, right? So going over to the now the ATV, when was the first quad made? Does anybody know that question or answer? So believe it or not, Royal Enfield in 1893 created the first known quad motorcycle, or whatever you want to call it. They took motorcycle components and made it from a 2-wheel to a 4-wheel. So yes, Royal Enfield gets the credit for the first quad means 4, being built in 1893. It's just incredible how in the late 1800s, during the Industrial Revolution in this country, how so much of our future ice age was developing. And so, but here's the real question. When was the first ATV built? And that answer is American Honda. So American Honda side, on the American side, instructed an engineer by the name of Isumu, I think is his name, to build an ATV. And if everybody knows the old 3-wheel ATC 90, I think that's what they called it. I think that was the name of it. That was the big thing to go by back in the 70s and even through the 80s. If everybody remembers those 3-wheel, like the big wheel, big balloon type of tires, it was huge out in California with all the sand because it could just float over the sand, the desert. It was a great, fun ATV. But that was the first official ATV per se in the 3-wheel, like the 3-wheel, not a 4. We're talking about number 4 today. But that was eventually outlawed because of so many people rolling those 3-wheelers. Yeah. In fact, I even know of somebody that had a friend that actually died on one of those ATVs out in California from flipping it and breaking their neck. So eventually, by the late 80s, those were outlawed, and I think that was by 80s. But who do you think built the first actual ATV? Well, apparently Suzuki was the first ATV company in 1982, like something 125 or something. Somebody that's much more abreast, that's an ATV addict and knows all the history. But I have it on my phone to read about it. But the whole point is, it wasn't until 1982 that in this country we actually had our first ATV. And then what goes with the ATVs is the side-by-sides, which that was a huge growing trend. And for me, what you don't know is, so when I got this property, it wasn't overnight that I had any money. So, it wasn't until 1997 that sadly my nephew, who one year on February 6th, my nephew who died a year ago on February 6th in a motorcycle accident in Florida at the young age of 39 years old. He would have been 40 years old this past December, I believe. I could be wrong with that. Anyways, he came to my property for the summer and he'd hang out with me. And it wasn't until 1997 I really kind of was starting to make some money in my life, because I finally started my own company. I started a public telephone business, and so we went out and bought some dirt bikes. So it was 1997 that actually I really started getting dirt bikes and ATVs. So in the meantime, I never had time nor the money to really own anything, and I just didn't have the time to ride motorcycles or anything else. Just I worked all the time. So it was from 97 on that I was able to then start riding dirt bikes and ATVs. And I credit that to being success to me and my ongoing being able to ride motorcycles, because I grew up on dirt bikes, but then I had a good time out from the 80s until 1997 of not riding motorcycles. So I give credit to me then getting dirt bikes, and my nephew was part of that, because that was something for us to have fun together with, riding around and blasting, even though the cops would show up because we were making so much noise was ridiculous. I mean, way out here in the country, it'd be beyond unbelievable that the police are showing up because people are complaining that we're making too much noise on dirt bikes. Yeah, I mean, it started early, everybody. Watch my channel. These people in this country that want to control you, it started a long time ago, and they got away with an inch, and now they gotten away with a foot. So anyways, so I credit that all those years of me riding dirt bikes and ATVs, which I had them all. I had Kawasaki, Suzuki, Yamaha, Honda. I mean, I had a Polaris, and I've really, Honda has been more the dominant product, but I had some really cool, I had the Kawasaki total race machine that would just frickin', it was an 80 mile an hour frickin' ATV. It was an orange one. I can't remember the name of that, the race style Kawasaki, what that was. It was just a monster. You could go 80 miles an hour. It was just about kill. You know, for me, my big ass, that thing would wheel you off the back of it. It was so much fun. But then I got a Polaris Sportsman 800, and I got a Polaris like 700 Don Jr. Back then. Not Don. Is it Don Jr.? I'm trying to think of the Dale Jr. Red Edition. And so when I had that 800 Sportsman, I used to jump the creek. I'd go down this hill as fast as possible, and that bike would go off the end of that area there. It'd land, but then it'd propel me back up in the air over that creek. And really cool machine. That 800 was the first just a really confident, fast machine. It had a lot of issues, and I've told that story before. When I went to go trade it in for another Polaris, and the dealer told me he wouldn't give me much money for it, and he said I bought the wrong year. I was like, well, I think I'm done with that. So then I went all to Honda. And so, but then over the years, the Honda ATVs and the Polaris ATVs, it all started going to the side-by-sides. And I have the side-by-side Gator now, but I've had a bunch of the Pioneer side-by-sides. I've had the Kubota. It wasn't really a side-by-side back then, but I used to have the diesel Kubota utility vehicle, UTV, whatever the name of that thing was, back in the late 90s and more back in the 2000 years, which those were really good units and all. And but here's the thing, Honda, I swear Honda sat on the sidelines for many years not wanting to build the side-by-side, real fast side-by-sides that you have today, like the Talon, and versus like the Razor, the Polaris, and all the other different brands that have the racing style side-by-side dune buggies, basically. But I think Honda set that out. I think they were worried with liability. I think Honda got so beat up back in the 80s from that ATC or whatever it was, 93-wheeler, that it made Honda really kind of be more conservative on their style ATVs and utility vehicles, side-by-sides. Even a point that I had a Honda, I don't know if it was the 250, I can't remember, back in 97. It was the Honda ATV race version, but it wasn't a real big unit, and it was kind of lame, and I just didn't really like it because I had that Kawasaki. It just didn't feel that powerful, so I kind of got rid of that, and I think I got my KTM 200 EXC or something. It's just too many toys, too much information. So anyways, the four. How do you take the four? When was the first 4-cylinder engine built? So how about that? I think it was again, Carl Benz back in the early 1900s, I think, that he developed the first 4-cylinder engine, opposing pistons, I guess it'd be like the Boxer motor from BMW, was the design of that. And that's what's so kind of incredible is how was that kind of the original kind of motors per se that were a little more dominant back in the early days. But yet today, you know as well as I do, if you're the real motorhead muscle car guy, you just despise these 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder engines. You just can't stand them because you want that throaty, nice exhaust that comes from this good old V8 motor. It's just incredible how those extra 2 cylinders make such a difference of the rumble and the noise. You go over to the Mopar products over here. These are all 8-cylinder cars, the Coyote motor down there. But then you come here to the Raptor truck. It's a V6 motor. And I don't think I even have a 4-cylinder motor besides motorcycle in my collection of vehicles. But that four-cylinder motor, so many people just rag on it, even though the 2.3 EcoBoost motor is a good motor. I had it in my Ford Rangers. They're powerful, but they're all turbo driven. They're all, twin turbos. And so many people just talk about how all these V6 twin turbos, these four-cylinder turbos, they're just going to blow apart by the time they hit 80 to 100,000 miles. That's most people's thoughts is, yeah, the motor can get the power, but it's not a long-term motor, and it's going to just blow apart and fall apart. It's not going to be like your V8s that withstand the punishment of the way people drive these cars. But it's just incredible on how that engine noise, and you just have to think to yourself, here's a two-cylinder motor. When you start up these Harleys, this two-cylinder motor just bursts energy like you can't believe. But yet you go up to a four-cylinder or my V6 trucks out there, and it's not even close to the noise that comes out of these V-twins. What is that all about? What drives that variation of that four-cylinder motor versus the V-twin? I mean, what is that all about? So you say, well, it's not a V-twin, and it's not a V4, but you got V6s. So why? What is that? What else stuff? I have so many projects. I have projects galore. I've got the windshield to put on. I've got my headset to put on. I've got mud flaps to put on. I've got accessories to put on my Goldwing. I mean, I could spend the next few days just literally in my shop just on projects of putting mud flaps on, rear accessory trunk on. Oh my gosh, just doesn't, the projects, the how-to videos, which I do. I make a lot of those. So here we are, the four. What do we have? Four legislative branches of the government? We have three. What are they? The judicial. I can't even think off the tip of my tongue without having to look anymore. What do you do anymore? If you feel like you're stupid, you become smart by just going to Google everything and I know that answer. That's why anybody gets on these social platforms. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is it's incredible how I just remembered this. For me, that calls out Elon Musk. Yeah, for me, who calls out Elon Musk all the time, which I do. I mean, I talk about him on a regular basis. He actually responded to one of my posts. He actually hit a like button on the illegal immigration. Elon Musk has been doing a lot of talk about how bad this country's illegal immigration is, and he's really calling out the governing bodies about how bad it is. So I made a comment, which I'm not going to make this comment on this channel because I think it'll probably get flagged. But on X, you can say a lot of stuff, and for the most part, not everything, but Elon lets it kind of go. And so I responded what he loved. He loved my very short response of what's happening to America. And so, so for me, I know some of you out there are like, what did you know? Well, when you're on a social platform with millions and millions of people that are responding to Elon Musk, every time he gets on there, he gets millions of comments. And for him to personally read my comment, and I wasn't the first to respond. I mean, this was the other evening after his post had been up for quite a while. And for him to respond to my post, that he liked my post, wow, I actually took a picture of it. Yeah, I actually sent a bunch of my friends and my family, hey, Elon Musk likes me, right? Wow, yeah, Elon Musk, right? So maybe is he watching Ice Age TV? Is he watching my channel as I call him out every now and then about what he's up to, what he's doing with all the new technology of what he's doing? Foursquare. So what's Foursquare? What's that all about? What's the other thing? The Quad. What was Dennis Quaid? What was that guy? I mean, it's just so much stuff. All right, let's go upstairs because these videos get really long, and I know that. But I just like to walk around and share the view, the art of what drives me to get out of bed every day and have fun in life. And what am I buying next, right? So what's going to go on here? I'm so busy in my business right now. I really haven't had time to explore what makes sense. It doesn't make any sense for me to have 3 CVOs. It doesn't. So what do? That's where then I get fixated on that. And do I need to do that? Not really. But let's get up here. A little cool out here, not too bad. It really would be a great day to ride bikes. Come on, bud. Let's go. What are you up to? Everybody chase you downstairs? Yeah, mister, I'm going to eat everything. What'd you eat now, right? All right. Hey, it's nice and warm up here, though. I got my new Mac. I put my Ice Age TV over the Apple logo. And, you know, anybody here's a computer person, it's so much work. Got my stick shift thing. Got my daughter set up over here. And this is the old Bullet. If you're watching the channel, you know this is the old Bullet Mustang. It got totaled. That's the original shifter. Hey, bud, what are you doing? He is just out of control. I got to get motivated. The weather's going to be right. I want to paint my CUDA theme there. What are you doing now? Probably going to eat something. It's dangerous. So I had to relocate my little tripod here. Did I do it right? And yeah, it's always the project here. So anyways, going over the notes here on the what I saved here for the information that I wanted to say. So the first four-wheel drive car was a Dutch Spyker 60 horsepower. But when was that? So it was 1891 for Carl Benz. But where is the Spyker? So the first people to make the inspired decision to fit an internal combustion engine with four-wheel drive were a pair of the Dutch brothers, the Spykers. In 1902, they invented their first full-time mechanical four-wheel drive vehicle, a stunning race car called the Spyker 60. So isn't that interesting? Who would think that it would be the race car? That would be the four-wheel drive car. But you know what? For all those motorhead enthusiasts out there that know that like these Hellcat products. So Sir Henry Capel was the first four-cylinder motorcycle in 1899. Wow, who knew that? In a motorcycle, I didn't even know that. So, anyways, anybody knows that having all-wheel drive in these high-performance cars, that's the way. I mean, you need it because all these cars bust loose. I tell you what, I was reading last night about this Mustang GTD and how Jim Farley. I'm not a fan of Jim Farley, but I will give the guy credit that he's all over this Mustang GTD, which I won't be able to afford, nor would I even buy one. It's too expensive. But just so you know, this new Ford Mustang GT3 that just raced in the Daytona 24-hour Rolex series, they're diligently working on a GTD Mustang, which is they're taking all the GT3 technology and they're wanting to put that in the GTD. So if you don't know what that is, it's a really badass looking Mustang where they're taking the Predator former GT500 supercharged engine, 5.2 liter motor, and they're making an 800 horsepower. But this whole car is a total race car that'll be street legal. And they went $300,000 for it, and it's probably going to come available. My guess would be 2025, but I don't think you're able to get one. I think they're only building like 3,000 of them. So right there, that just once they announce they're only going to build so many, it's a $500,000 car. I'll be amazed if you don't hear down the road the Ford Mustang GTD. You can put your order in, allocation, whatever you want, and the dealerships are going to play the game of be so lucky to get one, and it's $500,000. I guarantee it. So if anybody out there is kind of want to read content, look up the Ford Mustang GTD, look up the Ford Mustang GT3. Their whole operation is out of like North Carolina, down in Charlotte, North Carolina, near the raceway, because they're using that to test all this. That's where they're building this GT3, and apparently I don't know what my dog has. I tell you, man, this dog just eats. He's eating a rock. Yeah, he's eating a rock. Yeah. So, anyways, they're developing the GT3 down there in Charlotte with this. It's a company that's separate from Ford. So Ford has allocated all this technology and monies to go to this company, and I don't know the name of it off the tip of my tongue, but you can look it all up. And this same company is going to build the GTD. And once again, if you see that car, it is so badass looking. Would I love to have one of those? Oh, I would, but it's not going to be, for me, it just isn't attainable. It's just too much money. You got the guy that's making millions and millions of dollars a year. That ain't me. I'm a guy that's just crazy that has way too many, way too many car payments. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Yeah, I'm the 4 guy in car payments. Yeah, you know what that means? That's how much each car payment is. It's not in the 3 digits, it's in the 4 digits. Yeah, you look at all these cars down here. You think these are 3-digit car payments? You know, meaning $500 a month car payments versus $1,000 a month car payments? Yeah, I'm the huge 4 guy, like you can't believe. Now here's so funny. Here's my new computer. I can't even see where my Safari is on this damn thing. Oh my gosh. So, anyways, why do I even want that? I don't even know why I want that. I usually go to my morning Chrome edition, and oh, geez, just doesn't end. So, anyways, so you know what? Right now, the craziness in our country is unbelievable. I'm not watching. I'm just not even watching it. It's so depressing. I mean, isn't it depressing just to turn on the TV and look at what's going on in our country? I mean, is it just so aggravating? I mean, is it maddening? I mean, that's the thing. Just here lately, I'm like, is it even worthwhile talking about all the baloney that's going on, all the finger pointing? I mean, it's just And number 4, I mean, think about number 4. 4 is 4 walls. It's a square. Yeah. Has this country boxed itself into the havoc that's never been seen in the political powers to be? And even the big guys. I mean, who is running the show that's just taking this country sincerely? Does anybody really believe that this country is going to get any better? I don't mean, I really think that sadly we are just going down to bad times. I mean, one thing I did think about is we're in 4 wars. I mean, think this through. We're in the Ukraine-Russia war. We're in the Israel, Gaza, Hamas war. We're in the Houthi, Iranian, Islamic radicalist war. But we're in a war like never seen by the illegal immigration, like never ever seen. So we're right now, this guy, Joe Biden, all these supporters of Joe Biden, you're supporting a guy that is promoting hate more than ever. I'm sorry. All you people think that Donald Trump is the hate guy. You've got a guy in charge that we're witnessing of the hate of mankind like never seen in modern times. Yes, we can argue about Iraq war. We can argue about Afghanistan. Who cares? Talking about today. Whip-de-doo-dah. Let's start talking about your grandparents' challenges. I mean, you're wasting your time. Joe Biden is supporting the biggest hate of ever in our country, in the world. And it's happening on our doorstep more than ever. And here's something that my sister sent me yesterday after I posted on our chat group, the family, of what Elon Musk responded to. And once again, I'm not gonna say it because I think I'll be called out my channel if you know what I said. And I'll give you a little heads up. It's about a former sitting president, and it's a person by the name of Jeremy Wright. And if you understand that, then you know what I'm talking about. That a former sitting president used to attend a activity with a person called Jeremiah Wright that used to preach something. So here's something that my sister sent me, which I thought was pretty cool. And my sister reads the Bible. My family's religious. And so she sent me this nice little text. And it's so true. The Bible is life's lessons. I know some people are like, you're an atheist, but it's okay. Don't read the Bible thinking you have to convert to Christianity. Read the Bible because it's a story of mankind that's repeating itself. It's just a story of mankind's challenges, and you can learn through those lessons of mankind. You don't have to say that you believe in God. You don't have to say you believe in Christianity. Forget all that. You just need to take more of a look at the Bible and read the stories as a storybook instead of the religious book. But it says this: foreigners who live in your land will gain more and more power, while you gradually lose yours. They will have money to lend you, but you will have none to lend them. In the end, they will be your rulers. Now, wow. Wow. That's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 43 through 44. So Deuteronomy chapter 28. I used to do readings in front of the church, just so you know. When I go to church, I used to read, and I used to be on the communion, the table, the prayers, all that stuff. So but wow, more than ever in our lifetime, what the Bible is saying is so factual, because this country is favoring the illegals like never ever seen. And you have to say to yourself, where could you as a U.S. citizen today go to another country? I hear Canada. One of my subscribers reached out and said that Canada takes very good care of illegals. So I guess, if dire straits come to this country, you go to Canada. I guess that's where you go. I don't think Mexico's going to take care of you. But what's the next country in the world that's going to bring you in? I mean, what are the Chinese doing? I thought the Chinese just threw you in prison. I don't know. Does anyone know that answer? I thought they locked up all the Muslims and they try to convert them. Somebody may know more about that. But that's it. It's John Deere Day. I think I'm going to go buy myself a John Deere. How about that idea? But here's the thing. I'm a day late. If I'd have bought it yesterday, I would have had 2 sales for the whole month of January. What's wrong with me? 1 sale for the whole month of January. Wow. As always, I really appreciate all the nice comments. Great subscribers. I feel blessed. I really do. I'm not being, I'm just saying I feel blessed. As a YouTuber, that I have really nice people. One of my good subscribers, Brian, he personally emailed last night and said, hey, the cough thing, he recommended some ideas about the cough thing. And it's just a GERD. It's more about, if you look up GERD, you'll see that it's just about you irritating your esophagus, and it tickles your throat on certain drinks and foods. And yeah, if I would stop drinking coffee, which I have, it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. And really the thing is, too, the different brands of coffee, oh my gosh. If I drink some brands of coffee, it makes me cough like you can't believe. So it's just as a reaction to my esophagus. So anyways, don't have to talk about the medical stuff, do I? But hey, I'm going for an eye exam tomorrow. My glasses are so old. I think they're just really in bad shape. I'm going to go to my eye doctor tomorrow, which I think will be the first time, probably like 2 or 3 years. Hard to believe. Pandemic threw off so many things. And I'm going to get some new glasses. But I have the transition and the bifocal, or whatever you want to call them, glasses, because I'm farsighted and nearsighted. How about that challenge? So order those. I'll have a whole new look on my glasses. Or would I kind of keep it the same? We'll see. So anyways, once again, everybody, thanks so much for watching my channel. Stay tuned for the John Deere adventures, maybe. I don't know. Is there anything more exciting about that? I don't know. We'll have to see. So I got to go to work. It's getting late. And once again, God bless. Stay safe. Have a great day. And once again, nobody's reached out lately for the Ice Age TV sticker. I mean, put it on your front door. I mean, something. I mean, it doesn't say, I mean, is it that offensive? I mean, where's the followers? Where's the love? Do I have to put a $10 bill in the envelope to have you want to get one? I mean, as the channel grows, I'm going to definitely get creative and reward those who watch my channel. I mean, it's like one idea I have is I get a $100 bill. I get like a $100 bill, and I put it somewhere in my shop. And as you watch my video, and I do this like once a week, so you won't know what day it's going to happen. And so I'll be walking around the shop, and I'll have that $100 bill, and whoever's the first person to email me at iceagetvcomments@gmail.com that tells me where they saw that $100 bill, then I'll send you the $100 bill. Now, I know some people like, yeah, the postman will steal it. So, yeah, maybe I do a Zelle transfer. Maybe I write you a check, which I could do that. That would probably be the smart thing to do, write you, because I have an Ice Age. Ice Age is actually a corporation, believe it or not. I do have the name Ice Age Inc. and not a trademark, but I could literally, send you monies. That's how YouTube pays me. YouTube actually pays me to my legitimate S corporation, Ice Age Inc. And so I can send you a check if you see that $100 bill. And, and for me, it's all about people take the time to watch my channel. and they're helping it grow. And if I can reward you for that, that's fine. I mean, sincerely, I have no problem of sharing the monies. So, hey, everybody, once again, have a great day. And as always, love the comments, love the support, and stay tuned for what's tomorrow. So what do you guess tomorrow's conversation is going to be? It's going to be about the Pentagon or the hexagon. Yeah. Okay. Hey, everybody, have a great day.